is this the best movie with the word princess in the title? Is Princess Diaries the best princess movie?
No.
Why? Because of The Princess Bride?
No.
Because of Barbie and the Princess and the Pauper?
No. But those are all very solid options.
Because of The Princess Diaries too?
Facts.
That's the best one? Okay. Well, we have not watched that movie yet. And
it's coming.
It is coming. It is on the list. But today we are talking about The Princess Diaries. This is MK300. I'm Korbin.
And I'm Mina.
And we're tackling our watch list of 300 specially curated movies one at a time and talking about them. As I said, we're talking about the 2001 coming-of-age comedy film, The Princess Diaries.
There she is right there. That's Mia Thermopolis.
Glamour, romance, fame. Mia Thermopolis had it all, but only in her dreams.
As always, this is as good as it's gonna get.
Her real life was completely ordinary.
You're way tense.
But now, something's about to happen
Your grandmother called. This is the first time she's ever contacted us. What you want?
that will change everything.
I am Queen of Genovia.
Whoa.
And you are Princess.
Shut up.
Directed by Garry Marshall and written by Gina Wincos and loosely based on the 2000 novel of the same name, the film follows Mia Thermopolis, played by Anne Hathaway, a shy American teenager who learns she is the heiress to the throne of a European kingdom. Name that kingdom? Genovia. And under the tutelage of her estranged grandmother, played by Julie Andrews, the kingdom's reigning queen, Mia must decide whether to claim the throne she's inherited or renounce her title permanently. This movie, of course, is on the list, as well as Princess Diaries 2 and The Princess and the Pauper. Lots of princess movies because of you, because you've seen it.
I definitely forgot
Why
about
did you pick
Princess
this
and
one?
the Pauper on the list.
That was a late addition.
I think that's
for you.
because someone else added something. And
That's 1% of all MK300 movies have the title princess.
I mean, that just makes sense.
It checks out.
This movie's on the list because it is one of my favorite movies and pivotal to my childhood. Watched this many a times. And it was a little crazy to me that you hadn't seen it because I feel like it was on TV a lot. But
Well, I think that's what I learned as I was watching it, is that I had at least seen parts of it.
Yeah.
Or maybe parts of the second one, because I was saying things as we were watching it. I was like, oh, doesn't this happen? You're like, no. That's in the sequel. So
Yeah.
I watched Disney Channel growing up.
yeah, I think the second one was probably on a little bit more just because it was,
Mhm.
newer. But I don't know, I just really liked this movie and thought it was imperative that you watch it so you can kind of understand why I like the movies I
Understand you better.
like a little bit.
I did enjoy it though. I had a fun time with it. Something that I really liked about it that we talked about right after was that it's not a rom-com. It's not about a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there is.
It's about a relationship, but it's not about a
At the end,
romantic
she ends up with a
relationship.
guy, but he's not heavily featured. It is more about this Julie Andrews, Anne Hathaway, grandmother, granddaughter. It's about, generations of women, in the relationships they create, which I thought was really cool. You don't get to see a lot of movies like that. And for this one to have, I think, like a unique idea of like, oh, the unknown princess and her, grandmother has to come and they have to build a bit of relationship.
Yeah, I
there.
feel like usually when there's like this whole American princess kind of storyline, it's because the European prince comes over to America and finds this American girl that he likes, and now it's this whole big issue.
Yes,
This is just like, her dad was heir and unfortunately passed away, and now came the time that she needed to know who she was.
Little fish out of water. She's got to learn her way through the royal world. There's a lot of fun stuff.
Freaking love this movie. I think we picked to watch it just because I wanted to watch it. Then
Yeah, you were on the it's time for me to pick one of my movies mood, and I think
really
it was fair.
was.
It was due, and this is the one you wanted to, and I think it's easy to watch just on like
just turn it on.
Saturday,
You're like, here
whatever.
we go. Yeah, it's not too long. It's enjoyable. The thing that I've always thought about this movie is the makeover transformation in it. because it's not just a makeover where it's like, oh, take her glasses off and bam, she's gorgeous.
Well.
It has that. Hear me out. It has that. But it's more so about like her makeover instead of just being a regular teenager into being a princess. So that you're watching her grow as a young woman into this different being, while also like she takes her glasses off and she's somehow more stunning than she was before.
Fix her frizzy hair.
It helps when she straightens her hair, I guess, which is another problem. Girls are pretty.
She's clumsy. She's got to figure out how to just be a human being as well to gain some of that royalty and beauty.
Then the princess lessons are fun because she's just like goofing off while her grandma's taking it incredibly serious. I feel like that's a really relatable situation, like making jokes at something that someone else is trying to teach you with like sincerity and seriousness.
Yeah, and there's a lot of themes of like the old versus the new, and you know, where does she find her place in this royal world? And you know, something that I found was very interesting and very like early 2000s is you have like the paparazzi tabloid kind of dynamic that pops in there. And I think we live in a different world, but because of social media now, like everything is so public, we don't see as much of that like, oh, one shot you can get paid $500, it's gonna be on the front page of a newspaper, where it really has as much of an impact. But I still think that's like extremely accurate for the time, and it 100% would have happened to her, and it happened to a lot of young women that were famous for whatever, you know, one reason or another. Yeah. So I thought that was a great thing to highlight in this, and it's tough, you know, the guy you think you like just doing it for his 15 seconds of fame. Ugh.
How about a foot rub? Oh, I meant me. Fuck off.
Let's talk about our driver. The
Joe?
Yes, sure.
Not Joey.
I've forgotten his name.
It's Joseph, and he says you can call him Joe, and she goes, Joey, and he laughs and says, no.
I thought when her friend said he looked like Shaft, and then he was like, I know, was an iconic moment. He's shooting some basketball hoops and also trying to get with the queen. So I don't know. He's pulling a lot of moves.
He is living his best life. And fun fact, after this movie, he and Sandra Oh go on to be in Grey's Anatomy.
Wow.
And Sandra
Vice
Oh
Principal.
as Vice Principal Gupta is one of my favorite characters in this movie.
I did not know Hector Elizondo was in Grey's Anatomy for a lot. I guess you've been actively watching it.
I'm actively watching it at the moment, and he is a father of one of the like main doctors.
So not as prevalent as
he's
Sandra.
not in it right
5
now.
Episodes of Grey's Anatomy over the course of his long run. You're a deep.
They're
fan.
long episodes, though, to be fair. So
That's true.
He's around. I thought it was crazy though. I had to do a quick Google, like because I forgot what year Princess Diaries was, and I was like, hold on a second. Did they like meet? Which one did they meet each other first in?
That's a good call.
I have never really liked the Mia and Lily friendship in this because it feels like Lily just can't handle her friend evolving and becoming a person that is like outgoing and has things other than Lily, and so like, it just pisses me off every time I rewatch it. I'm like, God, what a freaking bad friend! Like
Lily sucks. it is a terrible friendship. And I'm not not necessarily that Mia is the greatest, but what high schooler ever is 100% positive in all their relationships. But I agree, Lily, come on. She didn't choose the throne.
I know.
Abdicate is a great word, don't you think?
It's a good word.
It's one of my favorites.
It's not used nearly enough.
No, and I mean, I think it's probably a good thing because we don't really need to think about, in America especially, think or care about royal culture as much as some other people might. But we should just abdicate things more.
That's fair. I think we should use that word more. But I would argue that there is a very strong force of Americans who are very interested and care way too much about royal thrones.
Less than we don't have any.
It doesn't impact
requirements
us as much.
in our culture to feel that way. I've got one last thing.
Yeah, let's see what you got.
Let's talk about Fat Louie.
Oh my God, Fat Louie.
Because I love a cat, and I love a cat in a crown, especially.
You love a fat cat as well.
Well, I do love a fat cat, and that's actually specifically something I wanted to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
You always get mad at me when I refer to a cat as a chunker or a fat boy. This cat's name is Fat Louie. Is that disrespectful in your opinion, or
no? Because that's his name. You are fat shaming cats.
Interesting.
It's the way you go about it. It's really the problem.
I like a big cat. I like a chunker. According to the IMDb trivia section, there was 4 different cats that played Fat Louie.
I mean, that makes sense.
We've been lied to. 1 you could carry, 1 who could sit still, 1 who could jump, and 1 who is at the end of the movie with the crown.
That's not the end. That's the envelope that she reads her note from her dad. Yes,
the great cat acting sits on the envelope.
Yeah.
Some iconic stuff. So yeah, 4 cats.
The one that sits still is definitely on the plane at the end.
True, it's a plain cat. No, yeah, black and white, great crown.
It's a cute cat.
Just a tubber.
Again, spoiler alert, he shows back up in number 2.
Okay, well that's enough at the very least to get me interested in the sequel. Put Fat Louie in the trailer and I'm all over it. What's the title? It's what's the semi? The colon?
Princess Diaries 2: A Royal Engagement.
Oh.
Not even written down. That's just in my brain.
Wow.
That says enough, I think.
Is this a good date movie?
I think it's a good date movie for people that are like our age because it's just very nostalgic, I think. Like, I don't think it's a movie that people who are way older than us or maybe even younger than us, it kind of just depends, are going to like have a major draw to. Just because it is just like, I think, pivotal to how we grew up and at least what I was watching.
Yeah, I guess I wonder the situation where you'd be like, let's call up the Princess Diaries if it wasn't on our MK300 list.
Me?
If it's something we would watch on a date night.
On a date night? Probably not, just because I don't think you'd say yes. We don't, because our date.
If I knew about Fat Louie, maybe.
That's fair.
Speaking of.
Hello, Luna.
Our cat has come to say goodbye. Luna, thoughts?
No to the press.
Thank you for listening to this episode of MK300. And maybe if you listen to the next one, the cat will speak some lines.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the episode. You can follow the rest of our happenings over here at Cody and Korbin Have a Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Cat Podcasts, KHAPODCAST. Please follow us on Spotify, give us a rating, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow along for more.